A guy that we all know well. His name is Freddie Mitchell, former Eagles wide receiver. He sits down with us right now at the Ron Jaworski Classic along with Joe and Hunter. Freddie, how you doing?
Joe, Hunter, what's going on? I'm glad you guys have me on.
Glad to talk to you.
Hey, if y'all have me on and listen to me, I'll talk.
Well, that's why we brought you in. We got a microphone for you. So how you doing? I'm sure a good golf outing. It's beautiful weather.
The course is playing beautiful. Great is cause. Jaws is such a great guy.
Oh, awesome.
How many years? 39, 40 years?
This is 41.
41.
Yep.
It's so beautiful. You know what's great? We were in the table. I was in the 730 group. It was me, Ike Reese, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Harold Carmichael, just sitting at one table.
That's a great group.
And we're just sitting,
and look at us,
just
just me and Joe Giglio over here.
How come we didn't get invited to that?
But we don't get the team camaraderie. That's what we miss. We get depressed about, not being around the guys and, being able to talk. It was just such a special thing, and Jaws brings us together.
So, truth. Pretend it's just the three of us talking.
Okay.
Ike's game. Is Ike hitting the ball well?
Ike is nice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what? He has to be that competitive nature because, we and you know who else? Trotter is good.
Is he?
Trotter,
yeah.
He hits 80s. He shoots the 80s. Westbrook has got a nice swing and everything else. But, he has to because we'll make fun of him.
Yeah, well, of course. That's why I asked, because if he wasn't doing well, we were going to rip him for it.
He's a talker, but you know what I'm saying? He backs it up.
Yeah, all right. Freddie Mitchell is sitting with us here. All right, Freddie, let's talk some Eagles as we get looking forward to the 2025 season off of what they did last year. A question that gets brought up a lot. A.J. Brown brought this up at the end of the season. New offensive coordinator. They had a formula last year that worked, right? They ran the football better than anyone in the league, and they threw it off that, but it was more of a running team. Do you think they have to evolve this thing and throw the football more, or are you in the camp of, hey, if this works, do it again until someone stops it?
Yeah, I'm a kind of guy that if it's not broken, don't try to fix it.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that you have to establish the run to pass the ball. I'm a receiver, and I understand that. It really helps each other out. Now, when you're not running the ball and you're just trying to straight pass, that's when it hurts you. So I'm a big believer in run, and then get them because then you can play action. There's a lot of other things that you can do, and you have the best running back in the game. Why not start run first?
Listen,
yeah,
I'm in.
It makes sense. Now, I'm curious to pick your brain on, someone who played the position, and then you watch A.J. Brown every single Sunday, and you see someone who's doing it currently at that clip. What do you see when you watch a talent like that out there compete at that level?
I see with something like that not utilized as much. I think that he should get an automatic 10 targets a game no matter what. If you're saying there's 60, 70 plays in a game, Saquon needs it 20, 25, okay? You gotta have A.J. touch at 10. You got to have Smith touch at 10. Everybody else can spread the ball around, but just make sure they get their touches. It's really, really simple. But, you get a lot of guys that they get in the moment and they forget players, and then that's when it gets bad. It's like, oh, man, he only got 2 targets that game? What's going on with that?
Especially of his caliber,
and then he's reading books.
Yeah, well, he makes sure we know, even if he doesn't say it, we know how he's feeling.
Right.
How would you evaluate the play from start to finish last year of Jalen Hurts? Look, we know the ending was special, right? Title game, I thought he was awesome. Super Bowl, he's the MVP. But the moments last year, there were some ups. The Carolina game was an up. Down. But the Pittsburgh game was an up. Cincinnati game up. But there were some downs. He took 7 sacks in the Rams playoff game. How did you evaluate, start to finish, Jalen Hurts last season?
It's hard to evaluate him when you're not really in the game plan and understanding because sometimes it can be the offensive coordinator's fault. But, Jalen's going to have to take the brunt for everything, win, lose. I don't understand how a quarterback can throw for 100 yards and still win a ball game. I don't understand how in this type of game you have that many turnovers and you still win the game. I'm completely lost looking at this game now because it's just like, man, that the snow game was against the Rams, right?
Yeah.
They had so many turnovers and they should have lost.
Well, it took 7 sacks, yeah.
Right. So that was the game you were referring to. I'm like, on an Andy Reid football team or a good coach or whatever, and not trying to bash any coach or whatever, you lose that game. Maybe Sirianni was just that good, but it happens. I can't call games anymore. because I'm not used to that.
Yeah.
I'm not used to a quarterback throwing for 100 yards and still winning.
Yeah. Now, what type of adversity is this locker room taking on when someone like Brandon Graham leaves it? Now you still have the Lane Johnsons of the world, and I think Mailata is growing into that as well, and Saquon Barkley's presence. There's a lot of good guys here, which maybe that's the answer. But, Brandon Graham was special, and now he leaves that room. How much of an impact, and how hard is that to face?
So question for you. Would you put Kelsey
I sure would. I sure would.
So what happened last year?
They won a Super Bowl.
Lost? And who took Kelsey's position?
Juergens.
Because Juergens doesn't get him. He's not getting the love. Maybe he needs to go date a superstar girl or something like that.
It can't hurt. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that wouldn't hurt at all.
Name a player in the NFL that takes over a player like Kelsey and then breaks a 40-year record.
It's rare.
With a running back.
Yeah, it's rare.
But Philly doesn't give him any love like that. Philly, you have to find your niche.
So does that mean Nolan Smith's going to be the Cam Juergens of the defensive end position?
All you need is an opportunity.
There you go.
4th and 26 was an opportunity. We didn't want to have that opportunity.
But you took advantage of it.
Took advantage of it. But you know what? The defensive coordinator understands his players. So if he can put him in the right situation, he can do only good things.
So the way you describe the Juergens Kelsey thing and Nolan now to Brandon, it almost reminds me of like a great college program. Right? You don't go down. You just reload. The next guy comes up. So are you expecting the Eagles to be great again? They lost a lot in terms of names, right? A lot of free agents left, and Brandon. Typically, teams that lose that much take a step back. Are you expecting that, or do you think this team, 13 wins again, Super Bowl, kind of team? What is your expectation for this team this year?
Last year you didn't think they were going to do what they did.
I did not.
Right when they
I
lost,
was wrong.
It was
wrong
like
a lot.
I was on your boat.
Yeah.
It was the Tampa Bay Bucks. When I think they lost with the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Yeah, week 4.
And I'm like, okay, it's done.
I said the same
called
thing.
for the coach's job.
Yeah, everybody did though, right?
I said the season was over.
Yeah. So it's like anything is really possible in today's game. You have to ride it out until you're really, really out. And I'm telling you, you guys hold them accountable, all right? And they need that. And always hold them accountable, even if you're wrong, because it drives them and it gives them fire. So it's you guys take a lot of heat. Take it because it helps us out.
Did you feel that when you were a player?
Well, I was just that good. I didn't.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Didn't worry about what they're saying on WIP.
I wasn't going to drop a ball. You know what I'm saying? I was too busy trying to cover up for Donovan. You know how that is.
Was that an every week thing? Every other week?
The crowd.
Yeah, I know.
Wild.
Well, they were waiting for that.
Everybody knew I was going to come over here
waiting.
and talk about. I'm the bitter guy, okay?
Yeah.
I am the bitter guy. I've been bitter for a while, so it's all good, though.
So Jalen Hurts, best quarterback in Eagles history, he surpassed Donovan?
That's interesting. I think that with me, you have to talk Super Bowls. That has to be a qualification. Nick Foles was right there. But Jalen has been, to 2. Has any Eagles quarterback been to 2 Super Bowls?
No, Nick was in the 1,
right?
And Jalen the 2, Donovan the 1, and Jaws the 1. So no,
right. And Donovan had the best coach of in the NFL of all time. I'm referring to Andy Reid.
He surpassed Belichick?
100%. Andy didn't cheat.
I can't argue with that.
All right. So and he didn't. And if he didn't get caught cheating, you know what I'm saying? It's just like
Well, there you go.
So,
maybe that's it.
Yeah, but Andy didn't have Tom Brady.
Right.
Andy did it with less. You know what I'm saying? And then he went and matured and got better and learned from his mistakes, and everything was great. But I think that I think Jalen has done more, and I don't want to say more with less. Because Sirianni he's proving himself.
Sure.
Kick a couple field goals, take the points.
Especially that Jaguar game.
If you're listening, take the points. But that's the old school in me, though, right? Are we in the same,
Yeah, I was mad when they didn't take the points in the Jaguars game. But Sirianni proved himself last year.
He did.
I doubted him, and look what he did.
He did. Yeah, 100%. So, and it's great. It's I think they're going to be good. I think I haven't looked at the schedule. Tell me, do you think
the schedule's tougher?
It's tough.
Yeah, so they play the NFC North and they play the AFC West. So you got the Chiefs, you got the Chargers, Broncos, playoff teams last year, Lions. the
Dallas and Kansas City to start the season.
Yes, it's a tougher schedule.
Yeah, it's a hard schedule.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but, it's you can get into the playoffs. That's all you need to do.
Right.
Just get into the playoffs, and then let the Cowgirls do what they do. It's like it'll happen.
Let's end with this. Last year, the title game was Eagles-Commanders. I mean, the Commanders haven't been serious in a long time. It looks like they have a special young quarterback. Do you believe the Commanders are now the team we got to deal with, or you got to see it again before you believe in Jaden Daniels and the Commanders? Or are they real?
I believe they're the real thing. And a lot of people are not going to talk about this, but they have a special GM that's coming up in the rankings named Adam Peters.
Who was with San Francisco before, yeah.
Yes, sir. And nobody's really talking about his moves and everything else, but he's a special player, and I got to know him personally because he played football with me at UCLA.
Oh, so you know him well.
So
okay.
I know him well, and I like what they're doing there, and I like how they're identifying their mistakes, and that's huge.
Well, it's been a while since they were a thorn, but now it feels like they're a real thorn, so we got to deal with them. Freddie, we appreciate you hopping on, and enjoy the rest of the day out here.
Hey, tell Philadelphia. Will you tell Philadelphia
They're
something?
listening.
Philadelphia, I love you.
He said it.
I freaking love you, Philadelphia. I really do. I never left here. I never left.
You're here. You're here with us.
I'm here. Donovan left.
Freddie Mitchell on with us from the Ron Jaworski Golf outing. All right, we got a lot to do. Thank you for hopping on, Freddie.